What if a river could give birth to a civilization so powerful, so advanced, that its legacy would echo through the ages? In this video, we journey along the sacred Nile to uncover the rise of one of history's greatest civilizations, ancient Egypt. From the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt to the divine power of the pharaohs and the secrets behind the pyramids, we reveal how a desert land became an empire of gods, gold, and grandeur. But how did one man unite a fractured land into a mighty kingdom? And why did the Egyptians believe their king was a living god on earth? We'll answer these questions and many more as we dive into the very heart of Egypt's powerful and mysterious past. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology, leave a like, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next episodes in this epic journey through history. The Nile River, the longest in the world, was the lifeline of ancient Egypt, turning arid desert into fertile land. Each year, the Nile's predictable flooding brought nutrient-rich silt, making the surrounding lands perfect for agriculture. The early Egyptians took advantage of this by developing irrigation systems, which allowed them to grow crops like wheat and barley, ensuring a stable food supply and leading to population growth. The fertile land along the riverbanks became the foundation for one of the greatest civilizations in history, ancient Egypt. As agricultural techniques improved, early communities along the Nile transformed into organized settlements. These settlements eventually merged to form two distinct regions: Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. These divisions were not just geographical, but also cultural, with each region developing its own customs and gods. This cultural richness set the stage for the future unification of Egypt under a single ruler known as the Pharaoh. The Nile River also served as a crucial trade route, connecting Egypt with neighboring civilizations such as the Hittites and Assyrians. Goods like gold, papyrus, and grain flowed from Egypt, while they imported materials such as cedar wood and precious metals. This trade was vital for Egypt's economic and political expansion, as it allowed the country to accumulate wealth and resources, strengthening its influence in the region. The emergence of a centralized government, led by the pharaohs, was closely tied to the control of the Nile. The ability to manage irrigation and distribute surplus crops gave the rulers immense power. The pharaohs were seen not only as political leaders, but also as divine intermediaries, responsible for maintaining harmony between the gods and the people. Around 3100 BCE, King Menes, also known as Narmer, achieved what many rulers before him had only dreamed of. He united Upper and Lower Egypt. This monumental event marked the beginning of ancient Egypt's dynastic period and established one of the greatest civilizations in history. By unifying the two regions, Menes became the first official pharaoh of a united Egypt, laying the foundation for the future power and prosperity of the country. Before the unification, Upper and Lower Egypt were distinct territories, each with its own customs, gods, and rulers. Upper Egypt, located in the south, was more rural and heavily dependent on the Nile's irrigation, while Lower Egypt, in the north, boasted a more urbanized and commercially active society due to its proximity to the Mediterranean Sea. The merging of these two regions under a single ruler was a political and cultural achievement that strengthened Egypt's stability. The unification was symbolized by the double crown, combining the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt. This emblem became a powerful representation of the pharaoh's control over both regions and his divine right to rule. With control over both Upper and Lower Egypt, the pharaoh now had access to the entire length of the Nile, which allowed him to oversee trade, agriculture, and the flow of resources. If you were a farmer living along the Nile thousands of years ago and your entire life depended on the river's flood, would you see the pharaoh as just a ruler or as a god who controlled your fate? Let us know in the comments below after watching the video. The Nile's role as the backbone of ancient Egyptian civilization became even more critical under a unified government. This consolidation of power helped Egypt defend against foreign invaders, including the Hittites and Assyrians, by creating a stronger and more centralized military. The pharaoh's ability to unite the nation also played a key role in Egypt's interactions with neighboring civilizations, like the Sea Peoples and Romans, shaping the political landscape of the ancient world for centuries to come. The legacy of the unification continued to resonate through the reigns of powerful rulers like Ramesses and Cleopatra, who benefited from the central authority established by Menes. Uniting Upper and Lower Egypt was not just a political achievement, but also a cultural one, blending the traditions of both regions into a unified Egyptian identity that would endure for millennia. The Old Kingdom, c. 2686 to 181 BCE, is often referred to as the Age of the Pyramids, a time when ancient Egypt reached unprecedented heights in architecture, culture, and governance. This period is marked by the construction of some of the most iconic monuments in history, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, built under Pharaoh Khufu. These colossal structures were not just tombs for the pharaohs. They symbolized the immense power and divine status of Egypt's rulers. The pyramids at Giza were built during the 4th dynasty, with Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure commissioning the largest of these structures. These monumental projects required advanced knowledge of mathematics, engineering, and labor organization. The pharaohs employed thousands of workers, not slaves, to construct these immense structures, using the natural resources provided by the Nile to transport limestone blocks. The Nile River continued to be central to Egypt's success, providing the means for agriculture and the wealth necessary to fund such massive projects. If you're enjoying this historical journey, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology. Hit that like button and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest series uncovering Egypt's greatest secrets. The Old Kingdom also saw the rise of centralized government, with the pharaoh at the head of both the political and religious systems. The pharaoh was considered the embodiment of Ma'at, the concept of order and justice, maintaining the balance between the gods and the people. The Old Kingdom's stability allowed Egypt to flourish without the constant threat of foreign invasions from groups like the Assyrians and Hittites that would come later in its history. During this time, Egypt also began to establish trade networks with neighboring civilizations. Goods such as cedarwood from Lebanon and precious metals from Nubia flowed into Egypt, increasing the wealth of the nation. Though the Old Kingdom eventually declined due to internal strife, economic issues, and famine, its achievements left a lasting legacy. The pyramids themselves stand as a testament to the power and grandeur of the ancient Egyptian civilization, influencing later empires like the Romans and the Ptolemaic dynasty under Alexander the Great. The pyramids weren't built by slaves, but by thousands of workers united by belief, ambition, and a vision larger than life. Do you think such monumental unity is still possible in today's world? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. The concept of the pharaoh as a god-king, as well as the architectural and cultural developments of the Old Kingdom, would shape Egypt for millennia to come. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was far more than a political leader. He was considered a divine ruler, a living god on earth. The pharaoh's primary role was to maintain Ma'at, the principle of harmony, balance, and order, which was crucial to the stability of the kingdom. As the intermediary between the gods and the people, the pharaoh was responsible for ensuring the prosperity of Egypt through religious rituals, military campaigns, and economic management. The pharaoh held absolute power, not only governing the political affairs of the state, but also acting as the high priest of every temple. This divine kingship meant that the pharaoh was seen as the chosen one of the gods, often associated with Ra, the sun god, or Horus, the sky god. The legitimacy of a pharaoh's rule was deeply tied to religious beliefs, and their leadership was essential in keeping Egypt's gods pleased, ensuring the annual flooding of the Nile River and the fertility of the land. Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great, expanded Egypt's borders and commissioned grand monuments to solidify his divine status. While Cleopatra famously used her political acumen and alliances with Julius Caesar and Marcus Antonius to maintain Egypt's independence from the rising power of Rome. These rulers demonstrated how pharaohs could use both military might and diplomacy to secure Egypt's place among the great civilizations of the ancient world. Commanding armies to protect Egypt from foreign invaders, such as the Hittites and the Sea Peoples, was a crucial responsibility. Successful military campaigns like the famous Battle of Kadesh under Ramesses II further solidified the pharaoh's divine right to rule. The role of the pharaoh in warfare was not only about defense, but also about expanding Egypt's territory and influence throughout the ancient world. Despite the eventual decline of ancient Egypt, the pharaoh's image endured, influencing future civilizations like the Romans and the Ptolemies, who adopted many Egyptian customs. The enduring legacy of the pharaoh as both a political and divine figure helped shape the history of Egypt and the broader Mediterranean world for centuries. From the banks of the Nile to the hearts of the world. Thank you for watching, and see you in episode 2, always here on Best of History and Mythology.